Colorado improves to 2-2 with a 37-20 victory over Wyoming. Now, it was a victory they got last night because it's almost 1 a.m. now after the post-game press conference. It got a little loopy in that post-game press conference, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Sometimes you come away from this saying, "What just happened there?" Yeah, it got a little loopy, but hey, it's better to feel. You feel better being loopy after a game like that than a loss, obviously. And yeah, Coach Prime was in a good mood, obviously. Not the finish he wanted, as he said, but they got a victory and a much-needed victory. You know, coming off that game against Houston, they really had to kind of get right, and not fully, but they got right in a lot of ways tonight.
Well, I think they figured out who their quarterback is, right? And that was the biggest issue the last few weeks of just the uncertainty at that position. I asked Coach Prime if Kaidon Salter needed the last couple of weeks as a wake-up call, because that was something we talked about on our analysis videos of it would have been nice to get those reps and some more of the kinks out of the way by Salter playing at Houston, but maybe this is what he needed to find that leadership and consistency that Coach Prime said. And he said it without saying it directly that, yeah, it was Kaidon Salter was not doing what they needed him to do. Yeah. But he said, he wants more than anything to win, but they're not going to do it at kind of the expense of their standards around here.
Yeah, he said it's not a win at all costs thing. I mean, they got to have standards, and for a lot of people. And I think you would ask him if it's a wake up call. He goes, I don't know about that, but he talked about growth moments and it being a growth moment for Kaidon. And I asked him about that a little bit, and it sounds like he kind of fixed a lot of things in the last couple of weeks, maybe, and he played well. I mean, obviously the start was not what you want, but he throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, and rushes for a score to kind of salt things away there at the end. And first 300-yard game for him since the Conference USA title game in 23. So that was a big moment for him. I mean, he needed that. I think this team needed the quarterback to be like that tonight.
Yeah, if you take away the lost sack yardage, minus 14 yards, he would have had exactly 100 yards rushing today. Not a lot of 300, 100-yard performances around here in recent years. So it wasn't perfect, but it was sure a lot better than anything we've seen out of that position so far this season. Yeah,
for sure. And, I thought Kaidon had some good moments in his first couple games, with the Buffs. But this one, there was a lot of good moments. And, I think that obviously his touchdown pass to Omarion to start things, but the play that he had with Sincere Brown that's Kaidon Salter, right? I mean, he kind of rolls out and he kind of directs him, kind of an off-script throw, and directs Sincere Brown down the field. And his run at the end, Coach Prime was talking about that, and he goes, that's the Kaidon Salter we want, is that kid right there that takes off and runs and just is assertive and runs for that touchdown. And so they saw a lot of what they needed tonight.
And that last touchdown run got his brother on the field in the game as well. So you've got that figured out. Now you've got some injuries that you're dealing with offensively. It doesn't sound like anything serious, but Jordan Seaton did not play very much tonight before watching the game in street clothes from the sideline. Zy Chrysler got banged up. DeKalon Taylor got banged up. And Simeon Price as well. It doesn't sound like those are serious injuries, but they were starting to mount in this football game.
Yeah, and not even in the game, but I mean, Tafiq Thomas got injured on Friday in practice. Brandon Davis-Swain, who had started the first 3 games, did not play in this game. I don't know what happened to him in the last week. So they're down some defensive linemen, and then you lose Anquin Barnes to a targeting penalty in the second half. He's going to have to miss the first half next week. Defensive linemen, I'm not sure who they have left, but thank goodness for depth. And he talked about that today. They really spent the offseason building that depth on both lines. It showed up tonight.
Yeah. Defensively, I don't know how much you take away from this. Wyoming, not a very good offensive team. Yeah. They got 20 first downs, and you let your foot off the gas defensively in this football game. But it was still we saw more of kind of that Robert Livingston tribe mentality in the first half than we've seen out of that group in a half this season.
Yeah, and what I take out of it is I saw some things I wanted to see as far as there was better tackling tonight. This team has not been a good tackling team. I thought guys like Martavius French, Reggie Hughes, they were more sure tacklers than they've been in previous weeks. And they got a little pass rush. Arden Walker had a nice night tonight, getting the safety, but he was also in that. I think he had he shared a sack with somebody tonight. I think it was him and Keaton Wade maybe. Got another sack, and so there were some good things like that. Taufik Byard again played well. I thought Carter Stoutmeyer, who has had a little bit of a rough start, I thought he played fairly well tonight, and so they got some good things. But yeah, you're right. It's hard to know because this is a Wyoming team that they only scored 6 points last week against Utah. They had 10 against Akron a couple weeks ago. 31 against Northern Iowa. But their two previous FBS games, a total of 16 points. And so, I don't know how good that Wyoming offense is.
Damon Greaves with another beautiful punt it basically hit at the 1 and it kind of rolled back, I think, to the 7-yard line. But he's had one of those every week, and he's been fantastic. Alejandro Mata had his only field goal attempt blocked. Anything else stand out to you special teams wise? Quentin Gibson's probably going to break one here pretty soon, huh?
Yeah, I will say on the block, Wyoming's had a block in every game. So that special teams unit, they've got something going on there. You don't like to see it, but Wyoming's doing something in their special teams unit where they're blocking something. I think it's 1 punt and 2 field goals. And it's crazy. It's a crazy stat, but field goal kickers against Wyoming are 1 for 7 this year and three blocks. So it's a weird stat, and you don't want to see it if you're the Buffs, but Wyoming's been good at that. Quentin Gibson, you're right. I thought he was going to break one. He was like an arm tackle away from breaking a couple of them. He's fun to watch, though, and whether he breaks them or not, he's enjoyable to watch. And so the other thing is, the receivers, they needed a game like this. Mario Miller finally had some breakout catches today. Sincere Brown's had his breakout moment, but a nice couple catches tonight. Joseph Williams needed something like that. Draylon Miller still a little quiet, but he making some catches too. And so a lot of different receivers got involved tonight.
We might have buried the lead here. Who's faster out of the end zone, Quentin Gibson or Ralphie 7?
It was Ralphie 7. That was impressive. She got off to a fast start. The Buffs did not, but her run was impressive. And Ralphie 6. We've been laughing for a few weeks now. The indifference to running, and Ralphie 7. There's no indifference to running. No. She loves it. And remember Ralphie 5 loved to run. Yes. Ralphie 7 looks more like that, and I think this crowd was super energized by that. I don't know if it did anything for the team, but this crowd loved it because they knew 6 just did not like running. Yeah,
it's a weird thing to say about an animal, right? That you can tell, but you can tell. You really can. Yeah. When they had the closer shots of her on camera, it was like, this is her element. So they got that figured out, which was another issue around here recently. They had a 5-star receiver, Cedarian Morgan, on campus. He's verbally committed to Alabama right now. Emmanuel Ruffin. Sorry, it's late. Defensive lineman, 4-star guy. So a couple big recruits here. I think if you're a Colorado fan, you should tune in to Coach Prime's post-game press conference because I think his tenor was pretty good. It was liking some of the things he's seen with his football team, but still very hesitant to believe that they're anywhere close to where they need to be.
Yeah, in no way are they fully ready to go run the table through the Big 12. They still got a lot to fix, but there were some good things tonight. There were some things they fixed and got better at. You feel better about this team. It's a week-to-week thing in college football, right? After Georgia Tech, you're like, oh, man. After Delaware, all right, we feel a little better. After Houston, it's like this season's over. After this one, it's like, okay, I feel a little bit better about it. But still, it's a cautious optimism as you go into Big 12 next week. And, it's a tough BYU team, one that the last time the Buffs saw them, obviously it didn't go well in the Alamo Bowl. Both teams are very different, but that's going to be a big one next week.
All right, we've got some work to do, so let's sign off, and we'll be back with analysis leading up to that BYU game next week.